Hey guys, it's Ryuga from the future here. I just want to say that sorry for the voice quality of this video. I was like laying down, so I was like had my mic far away from me and I was literally just ranting. So it sounds like I'm talking to you from inside a box. So please forgive me, but enjoy the gameplay and enjoy the discussion.
Yo guys, what's going on? It's Ryuga here, and instead of a gameplay video, well I mean there's gameplay in the background, but we're going to be having a bit of a discussion. This discussion is going to be about something a little different, and we're just going to be talking about what goes on inside of the mind of those quote-unquote toxic killer mates. Considering I used to be one. And you know, I'm not saying I'm a completely wholesome gamer now, because I'm not. But I have learned a few things and overcome a lot of the things that used to make me mad while playing Dead by Daylight. And I figured I'd give a bit of light to what goes on in the mind of those people, you know, who are bleeding you out on the ground or, you know, face camping you. So I've been playing DBD for about 4 years, if not more. A lot of people who play killer, they choose the killer role because they don't want to rely on a team. You know, they want to rely on their own skill. And because they want to feel like they're part of some kind of, quote, power role. And when you load up killer and, you know, you consider yourself good at the games tend to go your way. You know, 9 out of 10 times, you'll end up, you know, winning the game because experience outweighs all, you know. And in my case, there's not many people who outskill me when it comes to, you know, DBD and, you know, versing the other team and the one before. And this mindset ends up creating a loop in a lot of people where if you notice somebody is, you know, playing well, or they're starting to outplay you, or, you know, something happens, you start to get frustrated. You start to feel like suddenly, you know, this power role that you're playing, you know, it doesn't really feel so powerful after all. And so in the early days of DBD, I was a very angry person. So I remember back when like infinites and god windows existed, and so anybody who ran those loops, and if you guys have been around in my stream for a while, you'll know. Anybody who ran those god loops, if I caught you, I would face camp them to death. No questions asked, every time. And in my head, you know what I was thinking? You know what goes on inside the head of, like, you know, those killer mains? I was thinking, oh, you know, you want to be boring? I'll be boring too. Or, oh, you really think you're good at the game, don't you? Because you're fucking running this god loop. You won't even play a normal loop against me because you know you'll fucking lose. Right? That's the kind of mindset that I had, you know, back then. And that's the kind of mindset a lot of these toxic players have. You know, they have this mindset, you know, that they have to be better. That they have to be the one on top. And, you know, when people do these things, it starts to get under their skin. Especially, like, you know, teabagging, clicking, etc. It's like, what, you think you're better than me? You know, I'll fucking show you. And when you play DBD in such a way that, you know, you start expecting a certain result, it can really put a damper on, like, how much you enjoy the game. You know, you start taking your role as the killer a bit too seriously. And the survivors, you know, the ones that are wearing their goofy, mismatched cosmetics, teabagging you and clicking their flashlights, right? Who do they think they are? You know, you need to prove a point now, right? They want the attention? Well, we'll fucking give it to them, right? We'll give them the attention. You know, that's what goes through the head. And, you know, this applies in other situations too, you know. For example, second perk or second chance perks can be annoying, but if, you know, if you're someone like me, you know, in my mind, for example, I used to get annoyed when I would win the game, quote unquote, but I would win it multiple times. But, you know, there would be an unbreakable. And then there would be a DS, and then, you know, I would have to fucking end the game over and over and over. And they all kept me from ending the game, and it would get to one point where I would start slugging people to death. Right? I would just down all four, and I'd leave them on the ground to bleed. You know what I was thinking? I was like, oh, you didn't want to die, right? You know, you kept getting back up. You kept DSing me, so you know what? I'll just leave you on the ground if you want to be in this match so much. I'll fucking, you know, I'll let you bleed out. You want to be here so bad. You didn't want to die? Well, have at it. I'll leave you here for as long as I want. And, you know, there's also scenarios where people might find you boring to play against. And, you know, they'll try to get you to hook them so they can get out of the match. But instead, you know, you'll look at them and you'll get mad. You'll get annoyed. You'll bleed them out because they don't want to play the game. And you're like, you know, what am I doing wrong? Like, you know, why aren't you playing the fucking game, dude? I'm gonna bleed you out because you're annoying. Because you don't want to play and you're ruining everybody's experience. You know, that's, you know, things that I would do, you know. Or somebody does a, you know, really good dead hard, they, you know, after you outplay them, like, you know, the way that you're like, wow, that was a really good move I just did, and then bang, dead hard, and you're like, alright, well, now it's time to get really fucking mad. Because, you know, that cool mind game you just did just got shit on by a perk, you know. And, you know, these are things that go on in the inside, or, you know, at least used to go on inside the mind of somebody like me, who I'd consider to be somebody who was a pretty toxic player. So, you know, why? You know, why was this? Why did I have this mindset? Why do people have this mindset, you know, when they play D? And I think it all comes down to performance, and, you know, performance anxiety and expectations. You know, especially as a streamer, performing well in all my games, you know, something I always wanted to do. You know, I just always wanted to perform well. So if I had a match where I'd lose, I'd start to get annoyed with the things, you know, that survivors would do that I considered unfair. I would just get frustrated at the fact that I was losing, so I started blaming things like dead hard or gen speed, or, you know, well, this guy's running back to the main building or the window or this or that, you know. And you don't even have to be a streamer. Some people feel this way in matches they load into just because they think the survivors are going to judge them, like, really harshly. You know, hell, I used to get into lobbies where there were, you know, TTVs, you know, people who streamed, the Twitchies, and I'd get so much anxiety. I'd get very nervous, even though it was literally a normal game, because I'm like, oh shit, you know, I don't want to perform really badly, you know, I don't want to be judged. And you end up feeling so entitled to win that it dictates all of your emotion while you play. And you end up forgetting, like, one thing. You end up forgetting that DBD is literally just a game. And it doesn't matter if you lose. No, it really doesn't. But for some people, losing a match creates one of the most frustrating feelings, or, you know, it can create a feeling of, or an annoyance, you know. One of the most frustrating things that you can feel, you know, while playing a game. It was like losing. You're like, what the fuck? I feel so entitled to win. Oh, what did I do wrong? You know, oh, I'm so annoyed. These fucking survivors with their perks. You know, I deserve to win. So, stuff like that. And, you know, as I got more into the Dead by Daylight community, I watched a lot of people play. You know, I observed a lot of different attitudes, who people interacted with, how they interacted, you know, what people enjoyed watching, things like that. You know, and I took a liking to content creators. For example, I watched a lot of Cope and Otstarva. You know, they were the ones who initially set me on this road. You know, not specifically, they didn't come up to me and like, hey Ryuga, you need to have a better attitude when playing this game. No. It was just me watching them, and it's just like, you know, I wish I could be like them. You know, they'll get frustrated in a game, right? And nobody is impervious to getting frustrated, but, you know, there are people who play this game and, you know, they generally have fun and they don't care about what the other side thinks. They just play, you know, it doesn't matter to them. They just play, focus on their match, their own performance, and they don't care. You know. So, like, I just had to think about, like, you know, what was I missing? You know, in all the games, what made me frustrated so much? And it literally just comes down to the smallest things. It literally comes down to caring too much about winning and caring too much about situations that are out of your control. You know, and if you get, like, bad RNG, or, for example, get outplayed by a perk, you know, like Dead Hard or something, you know, why get frustrated in the first place? You know, this is something that's out of your control. And there's nothing that you could have done differently to change that. So why exactly get mad at something you can't control? You know, it's wasted emotion. And it just leads you to feeling bitter and angry during a match. And I've learned over the course of the last year or two, you know, for somebody like me, it's not easy to get over having the feelings about a game you play pretty passionately for so long, you know. But I realize, you know, if I want to enjoy it more, I need to realize that I need to focus more on having fun in the match instead of the end result. You know, instead of thinking that fun had to be a 4K or fun had to be a very specific situation that I'm aiming for. And once I did this, you know, I could start enjoying matches again. I could stop caring about, you know, the end result. Stop getting into arguments and endgame chats with players who don't care. Try to be positive whenever I could. You know, and stop labeling things that are simple gameplay as toxic just because, you know, it ends up leading you to thinking, you know, everything is toxic. You know, toxicity is more of a mentality. It's not a simple end-game behavior like running to a god window or clicking a flashlight. You know, toxicity is a behavior. It's a mindset of somebody. If somebody is, you know, toxic, they are, you know, trying to genuinely be a sour person, and that ends up going in like endgame chats and stuff. Toxicity is just, you know, simple disregard for how other people feel and just being generally rude and mean and all those things. That's what true toxicity is. Toxicity isn't getting pallet stunned and a survivor teabagging you. That's just, you know, that's the whole, like, he chase me killer. It's really not toxic, no matter how you look at it. Even though, you know, teabagging itself originated to be toxic, you have to try to look over those things and just realize it's just a game. Like, you know, they're just having fun, and you shouldn't take it personally. And, you know, it's okay to get frustrated at certain situations, but, you know, it's not okay to let that frustration take over and dictate your entire mood. You know, towards not only the game, but the people you're playing the game with. And you just can't do that. You can't let that frustration, you can't let that frustration spread to players in the game. You know, you can't get mad at those players because that just spreads more negative. And that's just something you need to avoid. And it's something that I struggled with for a while. You know, but being able to finally just not focus so much on the outcome of a match and focus on micro improvements and just enjoying my one-on-one chases is just drastically improves how you feel overall. And if you go for things like 4Ks, pips, etc., it just leads you to being angry and frustrated because you didn't hit that goal you're going for. You know, instead of trying to like learn from it, you're just like, God, I did get a 4K. Like, I watch this guy, the streamer, he 4Ks all the time, and I can't even do it. I'm mad. You know, I get people who come to my stream all the time. They're like, how do you do it? I get all these toxic swifts, freaking gen rush, and I'm just, you know, maybe just don't focus so much on the outcome of the match and focus on your small improvements. You know, focus on maybe the one victory you had in that match where your pace was really, or something like that. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, is getting mad at people or at the game going to make your next matches any better? You know, you have to focus on the positives and try not to focus so much on how you think you should perform in a match. Just focus on your current performance and how you can improve. And, you know, if you compare yourself too much to how you think you should be doing, once again, it's not going to end well, and you'll only end up feeling disappointment. Now, obviously, there are a lot of similar things as a Survivor main, but I don't think they're exactly the same. So I may make another video regarding, you know, that aspect. You know, but as a killer main for the longest time, that is what it used to go through my head during a match, you know. Trying to get rid of these feelings and, you know, caring so much about what other people think of you and, you know, how you played. It tremendously increases how you feel while you're playing. You know, you just have to throw away the feelings of expectation and just take DBD for what it is. A game meant to be played and enjoyed match by match. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. You guys enjoyed the discussion or have some things to add, feel free to comment down below, share your thoughts, share some of your opinions. If you enjoyed this discussion and you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. You can even join us in the Discord where I do post whenever I'm going live or whenever I am uploading. And my current subscribers as well. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever time it is, you know, whenever you're watching this video, wherever you live. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the fog. Peace.